I know for the last couple of weeks, it's been pretty blatant that the performance on both the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 consoles have been somewhat of a disappointment. A lot of people thought some of these games would be running at a flawless native 4K with 60 FPS without a hitch. And while that would be the best thing to ever happen to us, I wish that was the case, with a lot of games coming to these next generation consoles. It's just not the reality we face right now though, especially with these games that are coming out during the launch window or games that are releasing on the launch day of the next generation consoles. So games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is this massive open world game that a lot of people are enjoying, will have certain features of the next generation console missing because developers just didn't have time to make all those features a part of their game. I mean, these games that are coming out have been in development for over 2 years, and so they've been really working on last generation architecture. And that goes for a lot of other games that are going to be coming out for the next several months, maybe even 6 months to a year. A lot of developers are still wrapping their brains around the crazy features that are on the Xbox Series X and the PS5. And because of that, I try to pay attention to certain aspects of next generation that will make their way into new and existing games on our consoles. And we have some new announcements that really makes me excited for games like Cyberpunk 2077, which is going to be getting a huge day one patch, or other games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla and even The Division 2. There's a lot of patches and upgrades coming to the Xbox Series X console, which gets me even more excited for the upcoming generation. Because I won't lie, I can't go back to 30 FPS games, and I refuse to play games at that frame rate. I want all new and existing games to get a patch for 60 FPS modes, or I'll have a real hard time playing those games because the experience is so jarring. So I hope all these new Xbox upgrades come to all games, because experiencing these games at 60 FPS is what I've been waiting for a very long time, and it's what I honestly spent a lot of my money for the consoles on. So let's get into these upgrades and let's see if they'll start to come to pretty much every single game coming out for the next generation consoles. But before we get into that, like always, if you liked the video, hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. Alright, so the first game I want to get into has to be Cyberpunk 2077, because it's the biggest new game coming out this week and probably the biggest game coming out this entire year, if not the generation. Now, I know the review embargo has come and gone and the game has been getting a lot of praise, but there is one question I've been asking ever since CD Projekt Red said that the main next generation patch won't launch with the game when it releases. That question is, when can I play this game at 60 FPS and enjoy this massive open world game at that locked resolution and frames? And since I know this game has been in development for 5 years, I know that the game is based in last generation architecture, so the game won't have all the crazy next generation features firing on all cylinders, and I'm okay with that. But I also know that CD Projekt Red is one of the best developers out there, and they always want to give their fans the best experience possible, and from the looks of it, they're providing the best experience sooner than we figured on the Xbox Series X, which this article points out here. Cyberpunk 2077 already has a patch available to download on the Xbox Series X. The game comes with 2 different modes and will get another patch at launch. As we have reported earlier, Best Buy has shipped Cyberpunk 2077 early to some users. The game is up for preload on Xbox One and the Xbox Series X, while a day one patch was also released today, not just for Xbox One and Series X, but also for PS4 and PS5. While it is currently unknown if this patch has added a performance and quality mode, one of those users who received this collector's edition from Best Buy has confirmed that there is indeed an option to toggle between these 2 different modes. At least this is the case for the Xbox Series X. So the screenshot shows that you can toggle between performance mode, graphics mode, and all those modes that we're used to. Now, if you've played any game the last 2 years, you know that performance mode usually has you locked in at a certain frame rate, and that frame rate tends to be at 60 FPS, and they sacrifice the resolution of the game to keep you at that FPS locked. Now for me, I'll always, and I mean always, choose 60 FPS because the experience is high end to me and I love how smooth the game runs. And it would seem that this patch that people are getting early isn't even the main patch. A developer at CD Projekt Red states that there's another day one patch that will launch with the game, which the article points out here. Cyberpunk 2077 will also get another patch at launch. This is according to one of the developers at CD Projekt Red, Fabian Mario Dahala, who confirmed this news on Twitter in his own words. The update today is not the update we'll have for launch, which suggests there's something more substantial coming later in the launch patch. According to Orbis Patches, this update is also live on PS4, so if the patch is the same for PS5, users should be able to toggle between the performance and graphics mode on PS5 as well. We don't have any confirmation in this regard, so take that as speculation for now. So, like I said earlier, CD Projekt Red tends to really give their fans the best experience when it comes to their games. They don't take any shortcuts to provide an amazing experience to their fans that support them. We've seen this with Witcher 3, which got an Xbox One X patch for free that provided a performance boost and graphical boost and graphic mode. And we're seeing them continue to update that 5-year-old game with even more features on the Xbox Series X. So when I see that they'll have massive upgrades to the Xbox Series X version of Cyberpunk 2077, it doesn't surprise me. But it's also something I expect to see from every single developer in the industry as we get more and more into this next generation. Because these new consoles are so powerful, we haven't even scratched the surface with the hardware in them. So these massive upgrades to the console will continue to come out, and it's going to be something normal that we see throughout the year, especially to new games like Cyberpunk 2077, because they have a little extra time to get the patches out there for the games. And we've seen the same thing happen with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The game launched, it didn't really run well on the Ps5 and ran even worse on the Xbox Series X. But after multiple patches, the game is running a lot better and just needed a little more optimization to make the game run extremely smooth on both consoles. And later, it runs a little better on the Xbox Series X. And that's just with new games. We haven't even dived into games that are already out. Which brings me to Division 2, which will be getting massive upgrades for the next generation consoles. Here's what an article had to say on it. One of the larger titles from Ubisoft that players have been wanting a next-gen update for has been The Division 2. Thankfully, it seems that time is fast approaching. The team at Ubisoft Massive is currently working on the optimization, and it is scheduled to be available on February 2nd. It will run at 4K 60fps on the Xbox Series X and PS5, and presumably 1440p/1080p and 60fps on the Xbox Series S. This was confirmed during today's State of the Game podcast, which you can find below. I wanted to bring up The Division 2 because this is a much older game, but since it's an ongoing game with a pretty big community, it's great to see that Ubisoft is going to be giving it a massive upgrade in not only resolution, but also frame rate performance. Because I know for a fact a lot of people have been tearing these new consoles apart because of the performance with new games coming out, or games not running at 60fps right out the gate. And to them, I would say, relax and realize that these developers are going to continue to bring out patches that enhance the games. They first need to tackle the new systems, hardware, and APIs, and then implement them into the main game for people to enjoy, gamers like us. This will continue to happen to multiple games, and it's already happening to new games that have come out just this month. Like I've said multiple times, games like Valhalla have gotten major updates, not to mention games like Immortals Fenyx Rising, which is one of the most fun games I've played all year. That game has also gotten massive updates that really run the game smooth, and I know it will continue to get patch support that helps the game run even better. You throw in Destiny 2 and how it's getting a patch this month, and you have a great next generation console that continues to get updates to games that have been out for multiple years. You throw in the new games that are coming out, and we can see that as time goes on, developers will truly push these new systems to the limit. And both the Xbox Series X and the PS5 will have massive upgrades that push our favorite games to new heights. Let's hope Cyberpunk 2077 is the next big game to do just that, because I really want to play that game at 60 FPS. But enough of what I think about all of this. Tell me what you think about all of this. Do you think we'll get even more upgrades to older games? Are a lot of delays on games because they want to push the new hardware? Will you wait for Cyberpunk 2077's next gen patch before playing it? What are the games do you think need upgrade patches? Will developers continue to support the newer games? Can you play a game at 30 FPS after experiencing them at 60 FPS? What next big game are you looking forward to the most? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support helps out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamertag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. Right now, I'm playing Immortals Fenyx Rising. As you can tell, I'm going to have a lot of footage of this game. I find it so fun. It's just so really well made. I mean, the world's great. The controls are amazing. Everything about this game, I'm just enjoying, and it actually is pretty funny. There's a lot of weird things in it where you just kind of laugh because the game just doesn't really take itself too serious. It has a lot of humor in it, but also the combat and everything is really skill-based, I think. You really do have to like dodge and attack, and I just really enjoy it. The upgrade system's great, and the team behind it is the team behind Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is one of my favorite games. So I recommend everybody check this game out. I've also been playing the new Call of Duty, but mainly zombies. I've been playing that a lot. I think the highest I got was like 40 waves in zombies. I haven't even started the campaign, but I'm looking forward to starting that because I didn't even put that in yet. But everything I've been playing on my Series X and my PS5 have just been great, and I've been really enjoying these new consoles. And I want to know what you guys are playing. Go down below. Are you playing on your PS5? Are you playing on your Xbox Series X? And tell me what you're playing. Playing Phoenix? Are you playing Valhalla? Let me know, because I love talking games, and that's what we're here for. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.